Welcome to Microscope Exploration. And I'll be hosting this creation podcast. Podcast? Video? I don't know. Oh, we get started here by carving around the letters. I sense some hesitation because this is the first time ever trying this. Not really sure what size bits to use, and size is very deceiving. Whether you'd be looking at it with your naked eye or looking at it under the microscope. Oh, that deception in the size made it really difficult to know in relation to what you're going to carve, how much you're going to carve. Going around the numbers, the significance of February 2022 is when I started teaching myself how to wood carve. I didn't come up with the name till like middle of 23 is when the name finally of One Priceless Treasure. But it takes some time here. Going about the edges, wanting to have some fun here. Shifting gears now because there was some difficulties knowing the outer line versus the inner line, having the project come towards you versus recess it. So I shifted gears and started carving around the edge just so I could see and not knock out the curves of the border of the sign themselves. Doing the center portion. Now, I had some nerves with bit sizes, so as you see, I had to test to make sure it would fit in the lines and not take more than I was wanting it to take. Always a difficult decision. Switch to a 2-angle view. Top right, left corner is under the microscope. Top bottom right corner is what you would be seeing if you were looking at my hands directly. They do not match up. It was just my goal here is to give samples samples of each carving and to not make this video ridiculously long. Because honestly, I don't know much of what to talk about and how to talk through these things. So it was my bright idea in the top right corner. You see the black writing. I was finding it difficult at times to actually see my lines, or so I thought. So I got the bright idea to use a Sharpie. Yeah, let me tell you, that wasn't smart, because here, coming up shortly, you can see writing Sharpie on wood, especially when it's so small, of 2 inches by 2 inches. It likes to bleed and run in the fibers of the wood, so it made judging the line sizes and judging the bit sizes that much harder. But I kept going, kept powering on, because this is me looking back, but also despite the struggles, I was having fun carving under the microscope. I was having fun with the learning curve from being used to looking at my hands and directly at the workpiece as I would carve versus looking at a microscope and then carving. The judgment of hand placement versus bit placement under the microscope, that was on the difficult side. It was. If you notice some delays, still trying to adjust these transitions between the short video clips. I am new to this editing. Excuse me. New to the editing, new to the voiceover. Ultimately, I'm sharing my adventure to give, with life being stressful for everyone, to give a distraction, to give motivation, to give inspiration. And my goal is not to teach people how to wood carve, considering I'm still learning how to wood carve. My goal is to be a de-stressor, distraction, and letting people enjoy the projects come to life. Also, I started writing a blog to also tell the stories behind the inspiration behind different projects, the pros, the cons, the struggles, because you don't know, like, you can't hide the struggles and the oopses, because if a person wants to try something, there's going to be struggles, there's going to be oopses. You probably noticed by now, you see some red writing, and you probably noticed that I have had to start over due to the oopsie using a Sharpie. The letters were not coming out, and so I made the executive decision, sanded the signs all down, redrew them out, and then I used a fine tip ballpoint pen to give me the crisp lines that I was looking for. I also adjusted to like a 0.01 millimeter bit. That's why it's super tiny. So I can get crisper lines when I'm working right around the letters themselves. Uh, I I know my work is not perfect, but I love my work. I love challenging myself. Even doing this voiceover, it's only my second voiceover. It gets me out of my comfort zone. It gives me another way to share my work, share air the ability for people to follow along, um, so they can also enjoy the process like I do. Uh, Enjoying the process of watching something come to life and um, the amount of work and dedication that is required. But it also, in these videos, shows that in some instances, it can be a slow process and you can't lose faith. Because despite being in a slow and tedious process, the final product, it's worth it. I hear it a lot when people see my work. They're like, I love it. I'm impressed. And I don't have the patience to do that. You don't know unless you try. But you also have to be willing to take the ups and downs. At this point, again, the view of my hands versus the view under the microscope, it's not 100% lined up. I switched over to micro diamond burr. I think they call it an oval to help get in and out of those letters, crisp the lines up, so I can really assess and make sure the lines themselves are coming out, and the number 2 that you see actually looks like a number 2. Ooh, because sometimes wood doesn't like to cooperate, and depending on like the grain, because I've had this happen on numerous projects where um, the little pieces will break off, and that's just because of the grain structure. So, obviously, being a very small piece of wood, I had to be extra cautious. Darn sawdust get in my way. Visibility was always a challenge. Uh, Again, the delays are most likely due to transition errors in the video. Oh, it's proof that I am very much rookie at this, and I'm only doing it because I want to have fun. I want to have fun. I want to share my work. Be goofy online. And back to the carbide burr here, getting things deeper to give more definition. So, yeah, if you want to check out my blog is also called One Priceless Treasure. I have more work on Instagram and Facebook. I I've only really started recording a few projects, as you see, because to be honest, I forget to turn the camera on. I forget to turn it on when I'm working. I also forget that it's on and then the battery dies. Yes. And so, and plus, my ultimate goal is to create things. And if it gets captured or only parts get captured on video, then it gets captured. So now I'm at a T um, T bit here, where so I can crisp up those lines. So as this video is coming to a close, obviously I didn't show the final because it's not done yet. I do have a progress YouTube short. Purpose of this video is just showing more clips of underneath the microscope and showing the different views of whether you're looking at the wood itself versus looking at the microscope screen. Got a lot of crisping the lines, and there was a lot of back and forth and redos, but it's all part of this journey. Thank you, everyone, for who have supported me, continue to support me. It is very much appreciated, and I'm looking forward to make more videos in the future. I just briefly pop back on here. The video is roughly 16 something minutes long. Figured I'd cut the voiceover part short, but I'm going to leave the rest for your enjoyment. Thank you again.